One Podcast, made possible by BetWinner, episode 2 of the brand new season. Of course, season 2, we're on location again, John. Madrid, Spain.
We're on location, Madrid, Spain, the home of Real Madrid, the biggest team in the world.
Yeah, well, you've gone early.
I think so, mate. Tell me who else is the biggest?
That's all the Chelsea fans gone.
Come on, they've won way more than we have. Come on, there's no comparison. If you are somebody who's honest and truthful, they are the biggest team in the world.
Yeah. Let's just put it out there. They are. That gives a little clue as to why we're here. Everyone knows you're here for good reason. We spent a morning, John, with your old boss, your old gaffer, Mr. Don Carlo Ancelotti.
Mr. Don Carlo Ancelotti. Fantastic. I mean, such a wonderful, wonderful human being. After everything is achieved and still want to achieve, he's so humble. Gave him a call, gave the boss a call, and, straight away it's like, listen, come back when we're back from holidays.
He didn't think that you would actually do it, John. He said, yeah, come over, we're back. And we did.
Yeah, we did. I did. I mean, until we actually saw him, I was like, okay, is this going to happen? He's like, yeah. And we were all thinking, but, everything was all sorted, from the hotel. We went straight to the training ground, gate, name, everything, give us, the securities, looked after us really well, took us to the waiting room. Exactly, from there to his office. Everything was so well planned. I mean, he's such a wonderful, wonderful man.
My first experience of meeting Carlo, what a guy. I didn't know what to expect, John, but really down to earth, like an uncle.
Exactly.
He made me a coffee, and I'm thinking, should I be making this coffee myself? But I mean, the bloke is.
I know. I spent so much time with him, played for him. He never made me a coffee, but then he made me a coffee today. He was like, "You want a coffee?" I'm like, boss, I can make my own coffee." He's like, no, sit down there. I'll make you a coffee.
He's Italiano, huh?
And he's like, "This is Italian coffee, Michael. I'm gonna make you Italian coffee today." And he made us coffee, didn't he? And he's always been for me like a father figure, and you could see that when he was so relaxed, egoless, man who's won so much. The most successful European managers, won all the European trophies. He's won five major countries. He's won the Premier League, the leagues. And the ego is nowhere to be found, Mai. Nowhere to be found. No. He's so down to it. Like you said, made us coffee, welcome us into his office, and was just so listening to every word we were saying, giving us advices, telling us about every question we asked him, he answered. You know what I mean? He was so open.
I'll tell you the one thing I took away from it, John, he's really keen to get you into management.
Yeah.
He asked you about 5 times, going into management, John. We need to get you into management, John. And I'm looking, thinking, John, there's an assistant manager gig going on. Yeah.
And then finally I was like, yes, boss, I think I'll do it. I think when he asked me the 5th time, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do my badges. I'm gonna make sure I go into it.
And I'll give you a call, Carlo.
He's probably seen something that I haven't seen. So, hey, I might have to then do it. Who knows? I might become the most successful African manager. So
you're still a young boy.
Exactly.
You're younger than me. I keep coming back to it. But the one other thing, John, that I took away, and we're going to get into this interview with Carlo. I mean, no subject, you've already said it, no subject was off the table.
Yeah.
But the whole environment, I've visited a lot of training grounds, but the respectful environment, every player, Thibaut Courtois, your former teammate, came out.
He came, shook your hand, didn't he? He doesn't know you. He doesn't know you. Know exactly.
All the young players shaking, hola. And I'm thinking to myself, do that to you. Of course, they were doing it to you. They were loving you. They knew exactly who you were.
I think because they saw you with me now.
Probably. I need to give you more money for that. But the respect, and that comes from Carlo down, John.
It comes down from Carlo. I mean, it breeds from Carlo down to everybody else. And I've said it, not only me, many, many times, my teammates, my ex-teammates, we've all said it. That's what he brings to a football club. When you listen to the episode, you can hear where he explained all of that is imperative, that is important to have a good working environment, and that's something he's produced in Real Madrid. Did it with Chelsea, you know what I mean?
And
the environment was it done everywhere. The environment was so chill, was so calm, wasn't it? Everybody was coming and saying hi. The respect, the discipline has to be there. You know what I mean? That's something he demands from everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. The discipline, the respect has to be there. If you don't have that, trust me, you're not going to be in Carlo's good books. You know what? You have to have that certain respect. And he's not a manager that screams a lot. But from having a word with you, conversation here and there, he's trying to make sure you understand, this is what I need from you. You have to have this. It doesn't matter who you are. And again, we met the likes of Luka Modric, who was so humble. He was wearing shorts and T-shirt. You think, is this Luka Modric?
I did enjoy it.
You know
John,
what I mean?
You were fanboying. Anyone that follows John on Instagram will know him and Raul. You saw Raul, who of course is the coach of the B team of Real Madrid. I mean, still looks as if he could be playing.
Exactly. Still looks $1 million. Looks like he can still play. I mean, one of the greatest players, of the club. He was the captain during when it was actually the Galacticos, the Zidane, the Figos, the Roberto Carlos, Beckhams. Raul was the captain.
Yeah, he was.
And, just coming to us and, meeting him and taking a photo with him, for me, what an absolute legend of the football club.
We could have had the exclusive. Luka Modric was in at the training ground. I think an hour after we left, news came out that he signed his new one-year deal.
Yeah.
Now, I want to put something to bed.
We did meet him, though. We did meet him. Yeah, we did meet him. Yeah,
you were chatting to him. You were having a good conversation with him.
Yeah.
I need to put this out there on record. There were no fisticuffs. There were no punches thrown, because there's a lot of people that still flag this up on our social media platforms, John. You did not categorically say what you've been accused of saying about Luka Modric not being a good player.
That is an absolutely bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit of the bullshit.
And I know you released a statement, right?
I did release a statement on my Instagram, but I mean, now I can say it. There is no human being, there is no human being who will come out actually and say that Luka Modric, Toni Kroos, Carvajal, and I think who's
was it Ramos?
No, not Ramos. The other centre back,
Nacho.
That they're not good players. How can you say that? Who in his mind will come out and make such a statement? Yeah. It's unbelievable. These guys are world class football. That was fake news. I never said anything like that. I will never in my life say anything like that. I mean, if you see somebody who says something like that, you'll be like, mate, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Luka Modric, Toni Kroos, come on.
Carvajal and Nacho.
That was fake news. Carvajal is probably nominated to win the Ballon d'Or, so there's no one, especially somebody who's played the game, know the game. I can never say something like that. And we met each other, me and Luka, and there was nothing like that. He absolutely knew I wouldn't say something like that. And he wouldn't even think that I would say something like that. My utmost respect for those guys. They have built football. They've made football. They're part of the people who've made football what it is today. They're the legends of the game. They're the legends of Real Madrid. They've won the Champions League 6 times. 6 times, and somebody will come out and say they're not good enough. Come on. Ridiculous. So for me, it's fake news. I never say it. I will never say it. My utmost respect to those guys. They are legends of football. Yeah, well said. And Luka, it's still very much John is on Luka's Christmas card list. I can promise you that. But it was a pleasure, an honour for us to be at Real Madrid's training ground. We were given the run of the place. We took over Carlo's office to set up our little studio. Yeah. Carlo was not happy. He was not happy, no. But he had no choice in the end. We moved his little fridge to the other room. We moved his tables, and then he came in and was like, "Oh, whoa, what's happening here?" I'm like, boss, don't worry, we'll fix it back just the way it is. But we did. He was great. Yeah, he was class. Yeah. So with that, you've all waited long enough. An exclusive to the Obi One podcast made possible by Bet-Winner with the one and only Carlo Ancelotti. John is the dogged journalist in all of this. He asked the tough questions, but everything we had to, mate. Because what's the reason why we're there? The tough questions needs to be asked about Kylian and coming into the team, because sometimes when you do sign a massive player like that, and the team has been successful the season before that, you bring him in. Of course. He might. I'm not saying he will. I hope he starts really, really well, and he has an amazing. I wish him all the best. Have an amazing career with Real Madrid. But sometimes it disrupts the team, the setting of the team, the understanding of the team. What happens then? And that was the question I had to put through to the manager.
You did that and many more, John.
Exactly.
It wasn't just that. So here we go then. Carlo Ancelotti, the legend that is, on the Obi One podcast, made possible by BetWinner. It is the Obi One podcast, made possible by BetWinner. We've come all the way to Madrid, John, to join a man. He's a living legend. I'm going to embarrass him straight off the bat. He's your former boss as well.
He's my former boss, my former mister. No, undoubtedly, for me, like you said, I think one of the greatest managers in our era, really.
No
I
doubt.
think, the most successful manager in European football. It's an honor to be here. Thank you so much, boss, for having me.
Pleasure to have you here, both of you here. I am a little bit shy, so
No, Carlo.
don't make me too much.
You've welcomed us into your home. Your
Yeah,
office
this is
here.
this is really our home because we spend a lot of time here, all season here. It's a nice, of course, environment. Fantastic training ground, fantastic club. We enjoy, of course, it. Not every day, but sometimes you have to manage a difficult moment. But
Yeah.
most of the day we are happy and we enjoy it.
John, you said it. This club just feels different. There's something special.
It feels different, doesn't it? I mean, walking in and seeing the training ground and just seeing the whole place. But I think also, again, it comes down to what, the boss sometimes brings this whole relaxed environment to the club, to the place, and everything just feels relaxed. And this is something, we've talked about a lot about you, me, the ex-players at Chelsea. We've always talked about your man management, how you make everybody feel relaxed. And you've managed to do that here as well.
Yes, I have to say this is a fantastic club also because it's a family club with a fantastic organization. We have the owner that is really a supporter of the club. We have a CEO and we don't have much more people.
Not too many people.
They give me all the responsibility to manage the team, to manage the squad.
So there is no sport director then? Is it?
There is no sport director here.
Wow.
And yes, the environment, the atmosphere, really good atmosphere. There are a lot of people like kitmans that are working in for
Many years.
there was one kitman 45 years in the club.
It's a bit like Alan. You remember Alan at Chelsea and Frank the Bulldog? Yeah.
Exactly.
So your relationship is you directly to the president, which is very,
Directly
very
to the
important.
CEO and to the president.
Wow.
We talk together and we try to manage at the best this club. I think this president what he did, this president was really unbelievable because apart from of course, the success, the victories,
Yeah.
he was able to build this fantastic training ground. He was able to build a fantastic new stadium, to rebuild the Bernabeu. We have a fantastic stadium, and to keep the club at the top. What did Florentino Pérez in 20 years is is something
Special.
unbelievable.
Yeah, unbelievable.
It's interesting, Carlo. You win the Champions League, and the present that he gives to you is Kylian Mbappé. You now have Kylian Mbappé.
That laugh, I don't think
Joining the squad.
I don't think the boss thinks it's easy.
It's a lovely present.
It's true. We have a fantastic squad. I have to be honest to say, and they were able to build a fantastic squad. I think that when Ronaldo left, that was I think in 2008. Year by year, they were able to buy some fantastic young players. Vinicius Rodrigo, Valverde, and then Camavinga, and then Tchouaméni.
Yeah.
Every year one, and then Bellingham, and then Arda Güler, and now Kylian Mbappé. We have a fantastic squad with fantastic young talent, but I think the key point is the spirit that the veterans are able to keep in the squad, like Carvajal. Unfortunately, we lost Nacho this season. We lost Toni Kroos.
Yeah.
But we have Lucas Vázquez that come from the academy.
Yeah.
We have Luka Modric still.
Yeah.
So Carvajal.
Yeah.
this connection was really good in to have success in the last few years.
Yeah, but this comes with you as well. Now, this is which you've done last season to find a way to make sure these young players they perform at their best. We can see that you've done that with Jude, Jude Bellingham. He had a fantastic season, and now you have Kylian Mbappé.
I smile because
coming to the club. Yeah. So how will you fit him in the team? Because you had an amazing season last season, winning the Champions League and the Spanish League.
Yes.
And sometimes this kind of happens. How do you fit him in this team? Because we know he likes to play sometimes.
Bellingham.
No,
you are talking about Bellingham or
Kylian?
Oh, I honestly I didn't think about this. I think it will not be a problem because I think it's important what he said yesterday. He's going to be adapted to the team.
Okay.
I think this is the key point is that every player has to put his talent, his quality at the service of the team and of the teammates. And I think for Kylian Mbappé, it will be exactly the same.
I saw, Carlo, you posted a picture on Instagram speaking with Kylian. What was said between the two of you was...
But only two things, to the welcome, to give him the welcome, a warm welcome, because I think the supporter of Real Madrid gave to him fantastic reception.
Yeah.
And after that, go to rest, go on holiday, and because I think that for the players, it was a really, really long season for all the players.
Yeah.
Now the schedule is crazy. The schedule of the competition is absolutely crazy. The players didn't have time or space to rest, and think it could be dangerous for the next season. I left the players until 7th of August.
Wow.
On holiday because they need to rest.
They deserve,
They deserve.
Yeah.
And I think that football in general has to take in consideration this, that the schedule of the competition, all the competition are crazy because the leagues want to have more games, the UEFA want to have more games, the FIFA wants to have more games.
Yeah.
But at the end, affect
the players.
The health, the health of the players affect also the quality of play.
Yeah.
Because you are going to play, it's different to see Bellingham fit than to see Bellingham tired.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to do an example.
Yeah, I think obviously, boss. I think every media and everybody. I want to go back to Kylian. I don't want you to reveal your team for me, but everybody's thinking where will he fit in this Real Madrid team? Obviously, you have Vinicius on the left, who loves to play on the left. Rodrigo on the right. Everybody knows that Kylian likes to play on the left as well. Is he going to be through the middle? Is he going to be your number 9 striker, or where do you see him fitting in the team?
I see him play in front. Okay. And the front, the attack is quite wide. The pitch is 68 meters.
Yeah.
And we have to cover this 68 meters with the players in front. That can be Vinicius. Because if I ask you where Vinicius played last season, Vinicius, it's difficult to say. He didn't play left winger.
He go everywhere.
He moved.
Everywhere.
I think that the important key to have a good attacking play is the mobility of the players. So sometimes you can play on the left, sometimes you can play in the middle. Bellingham sometimes played on the left, sometimes played in the middle, sometimes went to the right. Rodrigo started most of the game on the right, but sometimes during the game I saw him playing on the left.
You're like, what is happening?
I think it's important, the mobility and the creativity of the player when they have the ball.
And you give them this freedom as well to be able to move around.
I want to give them freedom that they have to be able to manage the situation of the game. If there is more space on the left, we played one game against City with both Rodrigo and Vinicius on the left.
Wow.
Because we thought that we could take advantage
exploit that area. Oh, wow.
And so we are not so worried where Mbappé can play. I think him too. I didn't talk to him, of course, about this, but I think him too. It is important, the mobility in front.
Carlo, talk to us about Jude Bellingham, a phenomenal player, just 21 years of age. We all knew how good he was in Germany. But be honest with us, did you realise how good he was until you started working with him?
I think he surprised us for his maturity, a really mature guy. Not
Boy.
when you talk to him, it doesn't seem 20 years old.
Confidence, yeah.
A lot of confidence, a lot of personality, good character. And when we watching his game in Dortmund, we understood that he was really good to go at the right time in the box. It's really good. The movement that he's making when we have the ball. And for this reason, we try to put him, for the fact that we lost Benzema, we try to put a player that not fix the position, but could go at the right time. He did, yes.
A bit like Frank Lampard, isn't it?
Like Frank Lampard. And he did really well. The first part of the season was absolutely fantastic.
It's interesting you talk about Frank. John tells me you loved Frank at Chelsea, Carlo. He was your boy.
I think we were all a bit jealous sometimes, you know. Frank was your favorite player, wasn't it, at the club back then?
Not true. Frank
we were a
was
little bit jealous, boss.
We had the fantastic squad that period with a lot of fantastic players. But Frank, the best quality of Frank was to go to arrive in the box. And for this reason also, I remember we adapt a little bit, no? Because we were used to push up Ashley Cole with Malouda that goes inside, but this movement closed the space to Lampard to go in. So we adapt to keeping Malouda a little bit wide to give to Lampard the position. Is little thing, little detail, but that can help the team and also the player to be more comfortable when they play.
Chelsea was a great time. You, of course, Carlo, the first Italian to win the Premier League as a manager.
True?
It is true.
Yeah.
2010.
I don't know.
You opened the door for all Italians after that.
Mancini, Ranieri,
Conte.
Di Matteo won the
Champions League.
And now Chelsea has another Italian, Maresca. No?
Yeah. Do you think Enzo will do well?
Do well, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
But you don't think because he hasn't managed in the top level yet, he didn't manage in the Premier League, you know, he's only managed Leicester. Do you think that's a big gamble for the club to go for him?
Listen, I have an idea. When every one of us start a job, you have no experience. When I start this job, I didn't have experience. The experience is something that you cannot go to. You can go to the supermarket to buy. You have to be patient to have experience. So the experience is not the most important part of our job. It's a part of our job, of course. And the most important part is the knowledge. And for the fact his experience with Guardiola, with Leicester, I think he has knowledge to manage and to do well at Chelsea.
What's your secret, Carlo?
My secret?
Yeah, because I'm a huge admirer. I've watched you from Parma, Juventus, to PSG, to Bayern, to Chelsea, Napoli, Everton, Real Madrid again. You are a man who is very calm. You come across as very calm. You know, we talk about Pep Guardiola and tiki-taka. We talk Jurgen Klopp, heavy metal football. What's the Carlo Ancelotti way of playing football?
I don't have a way. I don't want to keep... I want to give to my team the knowledge to do, because there are some aspects in the game. First, the two most important part, when you don't have the ball, you have to defend. And when you have the ball, you have to attack. It's quite simple. It's not so simple, but where I can I don't know how to say. So I want to give more information to my players defensively.
Yeah.
Because defensively is only a matter of concentration, sacrifice, spirit, team spirit, and that's it. With the ball, it's completely different. The ball, you have to consider the creativity of the player. That is really important in attacking football. So I give a lot of information defensively, and I try to help the team to manage well the situation of the game. There is no way. There is no way, because if I have now modern football speaks about build up from the back. You build up from the gap if you have a space to build up, if you have the quality of the defenders and all the goalkeeper. But when I see that a defender or a goalkeeper are the players that touch much the ball than the other, I think that there is something wrong.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
At Everton, we had fantastic goalkeeper to shoot the ball. Pickford was long ball.
Yeah.
Fantastic striker to catch the ball, Calvert-Lewin. Why the defender were not so comfortable playing for the back? Why I have to play from the back? I have to give the ball to Pickford, to put long ball for Calvert-Lewin, and to fight for the second ball.
I think
We
that's
have to adapt the style of play to the characteristic of the players.
I think that is the problem now, isn't it? I think a lot of teams they're trying to copy the Pep Guardiola way of playing. You've just explained it there. When you have use your strength, and you've just mentioned that with Pickford and Calvert-Lewin. You think nowadays a lot of young coaches, a lot of coaches are giving players way too many information to play the tiki-taka way.
Yeah, no, I know. That I think one of the best team was Guardiola's team with Iniesta, Xavi, Busquets, Messi. But Iniesta, Xavi, Busquets, Messi, you can play, anyway. You can do a possession. Yeah. But we have other kind of player, is more difficult. You have to adapt the system, because why I love people, teams when they defend well. I love when they attack well. I love both of them. It doesn't matter if I have to play 80 minutes in my half pitch to defend, but I have to do well.
Yeah. You did the same, at City. Obviously, you defended with 11 men. That's what you're talking about when you played.
When we played at City, I think we defended really well.
Yeah,
we did a really fantastic defensive job.
Winning those titles in all those different countries, Carlo, it's incredible. No one's done it apart from you.
It is exciting. I think this is my season number 29.
Whoa, 29 years.
As a coach.
So I started as a coach in 96. After 3 years as assistant coach of the national team with Saki. Started in 96, and so this is the season number 29.
Wow.
It's true that I won a lot. Imagine how many titles I lost. No?
True.
I lost a lot.
Exactly. We're just talking about it. The 2005 Champions League. Yeah. Do you still wake up? Does that still hurt you sometimes? No. You wake up and you feel, that's one. Yeah.
No, because
you've won it 5 times now.
After that, it went well. No, defeat is part of your job. Defeat sometimes can be an opportunity. Listen, last season we lost one game. Season.
One season.
Yes. Also including the fact that we lost Courtois, that we lost Militao in August, we lost Alaba. So we lost practically 3 really important players in defense. And we lost only one game in September. At that game, I think from that game we learned that something, we were some debility, limits in defense, and we adapt a little bit the system. And after that, we didn't lose one game. We lost the derby, a really important game. So this to say that sometimes the defeat is an opportunity to
learn more.
To learn how you have to do how to do better. Of course, it's a sadness. You are sad. Differently, victory, because if if the defeat is sadness, the victory has to be happiness.
Happiness, exactly.
Not true.
Yeah.
Not true. The victory is a relief. You are satisfied. You are not happy because the pressure is so high. With experience, I am able to manage the pressure really well. I'm quite comfortable. But the victory is a relief.
Wow. Especially at this club, the pressure of
the expectation here is really
expectation.
like a draw here is
Disaster.
You are really close to the crisis if you draw one game. A draw.
Ooh, yeah.
But the expectation is really high, but you have the possibility to do, as I said, your best for the quality, for the environment, for everything, for the support of Real Madrid fans, because Real Madrid fans are everywhere in the world.
Exactly.
You know this.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
this.
You talk about that relief, Carlo, of winning, that feeling of just relief. The pressure
For
is...
only 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, that's
not more. because you have another game there.
And then the pressure builds again. Of all your Champions League wins, what's the biggest one where you've had the relief?
I think the biggest one for me was the first one. That was in 2003.
With AC Milan.
Because I had spent 2 seasons in Juventus where I didn't win. And so all the media were thinking, maybe he is a loser. And so
Wow.
the first victory in 2003 in Manchester was the most important. After every victory of Champions League is the best competition. When you are able to win the Champions League, you are really satisfied.
Wow. I know you've talked, you just mentioned it. I just want to go back to it. You know, when you have this draw, do you get a text message from the president?
No, but you know the
feeling,
feeling, the atmosphere of the people that are around you that are not they don't look at you like when
same,
you win.
yeah.
No?
Yeah, exactly. I know what you mean. Sometimes when you win, people look at you differently. And then when you lose, I know this has been there, especially it's like a player, when you have a bad game. But you know,
Exactly.
that you know, your teammates or the staff or they look at you like, but when you have a fantastic game, everybody, you know what I mean? You're like, so it's the same, right?
It's the same. Yeah. They are more difficult to talk to you when the things are not so good. But this is quite normal. But I really enjoy what I'm doing. I really enjoy every day knowing the difficulties. But we are working in a fantastic environment. But I'm not talking about Real Madrid. To be a footballer, to be a manager is a fantastic world.
Yeah.
I have to say. Yeah. And I have also to say that the players are the best part of this world, I think. Also, if you find players with more character, less character, more ego, less ego, but the players are the best part.
A little bit more ego like me, huh, boss?
No, you didn't have ego. No.
Let me talk about your son.
You were a team player. You were a team player.
Yeah, thank you. I was not there for the glory and the ego.
To help the team.
That's it.
I just want to talk about your son. How important has he been? Because I had a little quote about the Champions League game when he said, did he say to you to put Joselo on in the Champions? How important has it been to you, to your team, as your son? And of course, what advice do you give him? I know we've just talked about coaches giving players way too much information or trying to play the Pep Guardiola way. What kind of advice would you give him as your son? Because obviously,
to my son?
Yeah.
What advice?
Yeah.
Well, the experience to work with your son is a fantastic experience, of course. But I think he has a bigger responsibility. He had the biggest responsibility when he started, because everyone could think that he was there because he was my son.
Yeah.
And so the pressure, the responsibility was high on him. But I put him because he studied, he stayed close to me. He had a fantastic teacher that was Paul Clement.
Oh, Paul Clement. Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was behind Paul Clement, and when Paul Clement left to go to Swansea, he became assistant. But he had behind the school first as a sports science, and after that, 4 or 5 years behind Paul Clement and behind me, because he is with me every day. I think this helped him to have knowledge to do this kind of job. And I put him as assistant because I know he has the knowledge to be assistant.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to put my son in a place with responsibility when he does have the
Doesn't
knowledge.
have it, yeah.
I could say to him, listen, you have to do something. There are much more works that you can do, but I don't want. He is here because he has the knowledge to be a good assistant. And in general, I want to have a staff, of course, with confidence.
Yeah.
And my son has a lot of confidence. My son can say to me things that not all the people can
say to you.
because maybe they don't have the courage to say.
Yeah.
And I want to have assistants and people that work with me that challenge me. I don't want that people that if I say something, they say yes.
Yes.
I want the challenge, and we have the challenge.
Wow.
We are a staff that discuss a lot, and they give to me a lot of information. And one of these information was to put José Lu in that game.
Wow.
And are you on that training pitch every day, Carlo?
Yes.
Every day you're there, observing, your coaches are there. I remember speaking.
I am a little bit less involved than for the time that I was at Chelsea, because at Chelsea I managed at least all the exercise, and now I am a little bit apart. I am involved in tactical exercise all the time, but when they do possession, I can give to my staff more the responsibility to do this.
And is that the biggest change as your career, 29 years in coaching, is the biggest change now that you have taken that little bit step back to just assess, to observe?
Yeah, it is unconscious. It is unconscious. I like to stay on the pitch, to talk to the player, and to give, yes, to be involved, of course. But sometimes I have now the enthusiasm to push, to shout, and the young has this ability to talk and to push the player to train with intensity.
Just to talk about, obviously, the president of. So how did this go? So he rang you and said, "I'm signing Kylian Mbappé. What do you think about him?"
I said no.
They're like, yes, bring him
No,
more
with the
toys.
club we talk every day, on the phone. If they need something, and of course I give to them advice. As I said, they in the last 5-6 years, they did fantastic signing.
Yeah.
You said it to us, and walking around this incredible facility, Carlo, there are pictures, trophies, there is those signs that this is a club built for success. How important is that?
I think that this club, different to the others when I was, they want to keep the history alive. The players that make the history, like Di Stefano, like Gento, like Puskas, like Butragueño, are remembered every single day.
Wow.
You come here and you see the picture of Di Stefano, of Gento, of Puskas, of now Ronaldo, of Sergio Ramos, of Marcelo. And I think this is really important, to keep the history of the club alive with legends.
That's very important, because we don't get that often, where obviously I don't know many clubs in the Premier League in England that does that. I know certainly not my club, Chelsea. I mean, it's not a criticism, but I think that's one part where I feel they can get better. at,
not only
you know.
Chelsea, Maldini last season worked for Milan. He left the club. I don't know the reason. But Maldini is big part.
Yeah.
Of Milan, yeah.
The name, only the name Maldini is the greatest part of the history.
Exactly.
Because it was the father,
Cesare, yeah.
Cesare, and the son that won Champions League.
The other thing that I notice here, Carlo, and it's a credit to you, how respectful everyone is. The players walking out, shaking a hand, hola, welcome. This is Real Madrid Football Club, the biggest club in the world, and everyone is so down to earth and respectful.
One of the point that I take in consideration is that the environment where we work has to be clean, without discussion, without problem from anyone. So the respect is the most important. I want to be respected for sure, 100%. But to be respected, you have to respect first. And so our goal is to keep the environment clean. No discussion with players, of course, with manager, manager with assistant. I am really focused on this. I don't want
Negativity.
exactly.
Distractions.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It has to.
And of course, the relationship is really important. The most important part of my job is not the strategy; it's the relationship.
Yeah, and
With-
and we've all said that you are the best at man management. Every player, from
Yeah,
me
I am
to
a good
everybody.
tactician. Don't forget. I am a good tactician.
You are a good tactician as well, boss. But but I feel your best. We know your best quality. It's the way you communicate with us, the way you make us feel relaxed, the way you speak to us when we're having bad times, because it happens, and you will have to deal with that. I hope he starts very, very well with Mbappé. I hope he starts very, very well for the club, for Real Madrid. But if he doesn't, you are the best in terms of putting your arm around him, speaking to him, trying to make him feel comfortable and to bring the best out of him. But you are amazing at this.
Oh, thank you. But I repeat, I am a good tactician. I think the relationship is the personal relationship is because a player has to have a professional relationship with me. Is forced to have a professional,
Do you?
but is not forced to have a personal relationship.
Okay.
But I think for me, it's more important is to have a personal relationship and not only professional. Of course. Because professional is forced.
Yeah.
So you have to say tomorrow to John Obi, tomorrow we train at 5 o'clock in the morning. Why? Because I wake up this morning, I think that to train, and I can do this. I have a lot of power. And this is a professional relationship. But personal relationship is different. And with personal relationship, you don't have to treat, you don't have to talk to a player, you have to talk to a person. This is a big difference. For me, example, you are not a journalist. You are a man that make the job to be a journalist.
Yes.
It's your job. It's not what you are.
It's not what defines me. Yes, you're right. I'm not defined. I'm not just a journalist. To your point, I'm a human being.
You are a
man.
man, exactly.
Yeah.
You are a man, but maybe I don't know you, but as a man, but I would like to know you and to build a personal relationship. This is what I did with, not only with the player, with every people that are working here.
You know all of their names, Carlo?
Of what?
Their
the
names,
players.
the players, and they have family.
This is difficult to say because for my age I start to forget names, and so after 3 years I have difficulty to know the name of all the physio because we have a lot of physio.
It happens, yeah, it happens. No.
We've talked about, John and I were laughing, the eyebrow, Carlo.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask that. Yeah, I mean,
it's unconscious.
I remember when we were at Chelsea. Sometimes when we're having bad game in the second half, and you come in and you're angry,
we can see straight away, the eyebrow is gone up. Is that the same here?
I remember one time in Chelsea, we played, I think, friendly game in Reading.
Yeah.
I think we played so bad the first half. So bad. It was a friendly game. And I was really hungry, upset with the play, and I came into the dressing room and I started to shout in English. And I was not able to show my emotion. I said, wait a moment, now I speak Italian. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
I was not able to be angry in English. This is part of when you learn a new language. It's difficult to show emotion if you have no good knowledge of the language. No?
Exactly. And you've been able for 5 major, big leagues. You've been able to walk into all these leagues, and with the culture difference and everything, you've managed to win all the league titles there.
Yeah, I think I had the luck to because I went to the best team in England, Chelsea, the best team in Real Madrid, in Madrid, in Spain, the best team in Germany. I had the luck, but I was able to adapt to the culture, of course. Yes,
You say
I try to learn the languages. I learned English, Spanish, French. I was not able to learn German.
German
is impossible.
It's difficult, isn't it? Yeah.
No, not difficult, impossible.
impossible. I'm still getting to grips with the English language, Carlo, and you know all of these different languages.
Yeah.
That's.
But I enjoy my time. I don't know how long it will be, but it was a fantastic period. Yes, of course.
So is this your last job? You think, I'm not putting it that way, but do you see yourself finishing at Real Madrid, or will you see yourself managing
Scotland?
an international
I think the idea
country?
I think it will be the last club, I have to say.
Oh, wow.
If it could be an opportunity for the national team, I don't know. I'm not so excited to be in a national team for the fact that I'm losing what I like more. That is day by day.
Day by day.
Day by day, I like to be here to prepare the training, to talk to the players, to prepare the games.
England?
There was a manager that told me when I was a player that to be a manager is the best. The best job in the world if there are no games. This is the truth.
Yeah.
So do you think an England job will kind of tempt you?
Wow.
Someday. We're not talking about...
I can say that I can say that national England is really close to win.
Close
They
to
were
winning,
Yeah.
there 4 years ago. They were there this season. I think that they are really close. They need a switch of something. I don't know. Now Southgate left.
Yeah.
No? But the generation is really good. They have a really strong.
Do you think it's mentally they need to just switch just to get over
something
that line?
Something has to happen.
Yeah.
But they are really close because they have fantastic players. Young, not Bellingham,
Foden, Saka.
Palmer, Maino. They are really fantastic young generation. Gordon too, that was my player. They have Brad White that is doing really well at Everton, another centre back, young. I'm sure that they are really close. Maybe 2026. Why not?
Yeah, World Cup, yeah.
And your
Because
contract
there are
here.
a lot of teams with difficulties. No? There are a lot of national teams. Brazil has problem now. Argentina is doing really well, but maybe Argentina arrived in 2026 with Messi with 2 years older. No?
I mean, just to finish up, but I know time. I know we've talked about him, what a legend he is, and you've lost him. Just tell us how good was Toni Kroos? How good was he, for this football club?
Tony, he had the big responsibility for this period, these 10 years where Real Madrid was able to win 6 Champions League. He won 6 Champions League with this generation of Toni Kroos, of Casemiro, Modric. This was the spine cord of this team. Of course, Ronaldo, of course,
Ramos,
Karim Benzema, of course, Vinicius, the young generation. But I think that the generation of Toni Kroos, Luka Modric, Casemiro, Nacho, Carvajal was the key point of the success of this period of Real Madrid. If Toni Kroos was part of this, with, of course, quality, with professionality, and with ego low.
Yeah.
Wow.
Low ego.
Wow.
Toni Kroos, Luka Modric, Carvajal, Nacho, Lucas Vazquez, ego really.
No ego.
No ego.
Wow. And this is thing that kids need to listen to this. Kids growing up, no jewelry, no fancy cars, no, but exactly. But
It's a teamwork, day by day, teamwork. And the young that grow up, the Vinicius, the Rodrigo, they see this every single day.
Yeah.
So they understand really well, Valverde, how to be a top player, how has to be a top player.
There's a small matter to be settled. I know you have about 3 players who will be fighting for this trophy, the Ballon d'Or. So you have Vinicius, you have Carvajal, you have Jude. There is another player in Manchester City who has just won the Euros, Rodri. In who do you think, obviously,
Who do you think is gonna win?
Yeah.
I think he's gonna win. My opinion is gonna win Vinicius because he is a talented player. He did really well last season. It's true that also Carvajal did really well.
Yeah.
Because Carvajal won the league, won the Champions League scoring,
Yes, in the final.
true.
Yeah.
and won the Euro Cup. But Vinicius, talented player, young, good image, I think. He can improve.
Yeah.
Won the league,
Yeah.
won the Champions League, scoring in the final and in the semi-final.
True.
Scored 2 goals in Munich.
True. And Jude.
So
And Jude did a fantastic season. Winning the Champions League, winning the league. And it was a big surprise. The best player of the league.
Yeah.
And so.
And Rodri, maybe.
And Rodri is a fantastic midfielder, one of the best midfielders of the competition, of course. Always, really constant. Rodri.
Exactly. Won the
Premier
Premier League 4 times with City now. 3-4 times.
for the last 4 years, yeah. He's incredible, Rodri.
So there is a lot of debate.
I think it's not the most important. It's important trophy, individual, of course. For me, it's a curiosity.
Yeah. What about
For the player, it's really important. If you try to ask to the player, if you interview the player, you prefer to win Champions League or to the Ballon d'Or?
Champions League?
Champions League.
Yeah.
That's it.
I look around your office, Carlo. No medals, no trophies.
No. I
Do you
have
have
all
them
the trophies at home.
At home?
But I have to change house because it's too small.
There's too many, and you're not done yet. What you
No,
what
I
get?
have. Listen, I have this. This is my shirt of Roma, '83, when we won the league in Italy, and that's it. I have no shirt. All the memory that I have are here. My mind.
Wow. 83.
1983. So all your medals, trophies, do you have them in a cabinet? Do you show them off, Carlo? Or are they all-
No. I have at house all the medals. Yes, of the Champions League.
Wow.
I don't put. No.
No.
Champions League next season, make it 6.
We try.
You
We try as usual. We try. But as I said, I have 5. But imagine how many I lost in 29 years.
You could have had so many more. But now with Mbappe, with Endrick, we've not talked about Endrick.
Hendrik.
Oh,
Yeah.
Carlo.
Coming.
He is.
We have, listen, Arda Güler, 18. It is a fantastic talent.
Your
and
team is
Hendrik-
scary, boss. Scary.
How many
Scary.
defenders?
Scary.
Scary, yeah?
Oh,
Scary.
Scary.
I mean, Guler, Endrick, Mbappe, Rodrigo, Vinny, Bellingham.
Oh,
That gives me a
I think
sore head, Carlo.
we have to change the rule. we
But
have
it
to
keeps
put
you
more
young.
than 11 players.
But working with all of these young players, it keeps you young. It keeps the fire alive.
I'm used to say before the season, just to save myself to the veterans, you have to look the young that are really good. Huh? So you have to take in consideration that you can have less minutes than the last year because the young
wow.
and they
Okay.
they understand.
Yeah.
Ah, so you have this conversation with them before the season starts.
Yes. But the young, too, I have to say, you have to be patient. Don't ask to play too much because the veterans are still really
Trust.
good. And until now, they understood. Until now, I don't know. This season.
Next
No,
season, maybe they will not understand too much.
no, this is the reality. There is a good
Okay.
connection of this.
Yeah.
To be honest, the last season was a season where I didn't have problems with anyone. But really, no one
one.
complained.
Wow.
Also the player that didn't play helped the team a lot because we had a lot of injuries, but a lot of players like I don't know, Brahim, that was not in the first 11, scored a huge amount of goal. Joselu too. I really didn't. Nobody complains. It was a fantastic season in this side. This group is really good.
I promise you, boss. Last one. I know I keep saying last one. Eden Hazard. Did you regret? I mean, I spoke to him. He said he regrets that it didn't work out for him here as he wanted for the club, for the fans. It didn't work out the way he wanted, maybe through injuries or through whatever it was. As a manager, then, did you regret as well that it didn't work out for him as such a
For him,
fantastic player?
Eden is a fantastic guy. He was really accepted. He had the good relationship with everyone. I think that the problem was the injuries, of course, but also the fact that he had difficulty to be in competition.
He doesn't like training. We know that.
Eh?
He doesn't like training. We know that.
He doesn't like training, yes, but listen, when you play every 3 days, it's not important to train. You are not able to train high intensity. You have to train high intensity in training when you are not playing.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he played in Lille all the games, he was in the first 11, and then he signed for Chelsea. He played fantastic for Chelsea, and then he had the injury. And when you are in Real Madrid and you have injury, you have to be back and to be competitive with the others. Because if you are not playing, there is another one that can play.
Play.
And so I think he had difficulties to compete, to fight, to play.
And the same with Gareth Bale. What a player. What a incredible. Carlo, for 3 years, Messi, Ronaldo and Gareth was pushing for 3 years, incredible. And then the end of his career here, it just fell away a little bit.
But I think it's different case. I think he lost a little bit the motivation to play at a high level, but Gareth is considered a legend here.
He is.
Because Gareth scored in 2014, the final, scored in, I forgot, 2 goals against Liverpool.
Yes,
in
Kiev.
another final. He scored a huge amount of goal here in finals. He's considered a legend for us, and I had a fantastic moment with him. It was one of the best players that I trained.
Wow!
And
wow!
one more.
One of the best players
Well,
you've trained.
the ability to combine physicality and talent. Wow.
Yeah.
A monster. And the guy who's done it better than anyone is Cristiano Ronaldo, Carlo. What is it like to manage him and coach Cristiano?
Really easy.
Really easy.
When you have a player that score every game, not difficult. Also, he's really professional, really serious, top professional, another legend. What Ronaldo Cristiano was able to achieve in his career, and he's able to achieve because he's still there to fight. It was fantastic, thanks to his talent, of course, thanks to his
Hard work.
Professionality, always focused, always concentrated. I couldn't find a day where Ronaldo was on the pitch like, no. When he went to the pitch.
Yeah.
Every day.
Huh?
Every day training, games. Wow.
He was incredible.
Did you play with Ronaldo?
No.
Unbelievable.
Who's the one, Carlo, that got away? Who's the one player that you would have loved to have worked with that you never...
To work with?
Yes.
Oh.
Messi.
He's one of the few.
He is one of the
because
few.
I have an unbelievable list of players. Unbelievable, yes. I had the luck to train the best player. Unbelievable. And I remember all. I remember all the players, all the teams, all the squad, all the time we spent together. Good time, too, you know?
Oh, great time. My favourite was Parma. You had Chiesa, Crespo, Veron. You had Veron. Was Veron with you? No, it was before you or maybe after you. That Parma team.
Well, thank you so much, boss. It's been absolutely
It was
fantastic.
a pleasure. To talk about football is always a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
Amazing, Carlo.
And
Thank
to be
you so
here
much.
in this training ground, and to be here in Spain, in Madrid.
And we are not too specific, not too much details.
Not too much details. No.
I think that in general, the new generation, and I'm not the new generation, are trying to complicate a little bit.
Right.
Football is not too complicated.
Not too much complication.
No.
That's what you think. You
There
need
is
to
a
be
goal,
simple.
one goal. You have to score a goal. And the second goal is to avoid, to not consider goal.
Not to consider goal, yeah.
It's a simple
I
game.
try to keep quite simple. What I love more, because football for me is still a strong passion. I don't consider my what I'm doing a job. Is a passion, fortunately.
And you're very good at it as well, Carlo.
Thank you.
You really are. Thank you so much. To echo
Thank
what
you
John
for
said.
coming here.
Thank you for letting us into your home. This is your home, Real Madrid Football Club. Carlo Ancelotti, thank you so
Pleasure.
much.
Thank you.
We did tell you it was a good one, not to pat ourselves on the back too much, but Carlo Ancelotti, an exclusive, the first organisation to sit down with Carlo since winning, of course, his 5th European Cup and since returning to pre-season with Kylian Mbappé, his little present under an early Christmas present, I think you could say, for Carlo Ancelotti. That was brilliant, John.
Yeah, that was brilliant. That was brilliant. Like we said.
Even if I do say so ourselves.
Yeah. No, obviously the president has given him a wonderful present for winning the Champions League again. Little present. But I don't think... Exactly. Here you go. Who do you... just ask... When the president called you up and said, I want to sign Kylian Mbappé, what did you actually say about that? Did you say, no, I don't want him? Or you're like...
No.
Yes, I do want him.
Exactly.
But no, obviously, Carlo has done an amazing job for the club. And he got his present, Kylian Mbappé.
He did get his present. We should add as well, and this I'm sure we'll pop this up on our socials. That was about an hour long. We were actually sat in those seats for about an hour and a half. Just halfway through, the door tapped, and it was one of Carlo's coaching staff telling him that the president had arrived and wanted to say hello. And the beauty of it as well, Carlo looked at you and I for almost permission.
He was like, yeah.
No, Carlo.
He's like,
go.
Can I? I'm like, yeah, boss, you have to go.
It's the president. You can go.
It is Florentino Pérez.
Yeah.
When Florentino Pérez calls you, you pick up the fucking phone.
Yeah.
And that's what Carlo did. It was like, the guy came in and was like, boss,
the biggest boss is calling.
Yes.
He wants to see you. And
Go.
Carlo was like, can I, boss, you have to go. You have to go. It's actually, and it just shows that, the Obi One podcast, we are the midst of everything. And
It's you, John, not me.
And for Florentino Pérez to disrupt our, episode, podcast.
We'll need to send.
I mean,
We'll have to
he
have
didn't
words.
disrupt it. He made it even
Better. Because I tell you what, Carlo did. He must have said something to Carlo, because Carlo came skipping in far happier.
Yeah,
as
he
well.
came back in and he was way more relaxed.
Yeah.
He was way more happier, and he gave us, it was supposed to go on for like 20, 30 minutes, but he gave us way more time
Yeah,
because
he
he
did.
was then happy. I don't know what Perez said to you. He probably said, is Mikel there? Make sure you give him more time.
Very good, John. And
Yeah.
listen, the biggest takeaway for me, it blew my mind just how simple Real Madrid are. President, CEO, Carlo Ancelotti.
Yeah.
There is a football wing. Carlo and his coaching staff are left to it. There's a business side of Real Madrid, of
Yeah.
course there is.
Yeah.
That's on the other side of the training
Yeah.
ground. That is their home. That is their sanctuary.
Yeah.
Football rules the roost. And Carlo, with Davide, his son, and the coaching staff, that is where they do their business. That's where they work their magic. And Florentino lets them get on with it.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
He lets them get on with the football side of it.
Yeah.
Obviously, he does kind of the signing, because then he goes to Carlo and say, okay, I want to bring in this player. What is your opinion? But then he has the final say. He brings in whoever he wants to bring to the. But then he lets Carlo deal with the football. And there's not much you can ask for. There is no sporting director that Carlo needs to get in touch with before he gets in touch with the president. He goes direct to the president or the CEO, and he said it. For him, is the best way to run a football club, because for him, he has the keys to everything.
Yeah.
He's relaxed. He does what he wants on the pitch. Obviously, he has to bring in results. He has to win games. You said it. He has to win games, even when it's a draw. You know what I mean? It's a fantastic football club, and it's very important as well what he said about his son as well. So yeah.
Yeah, watch the space with Davide. I think he's got a big future in the game as well. But that is it. I don't know, an awful lot of people were excited about this episode. Carlo Ancelotti, exclusive to the Obi One podcast. And I can tell you, we have got a whole host of other big names upcoming in the future weeks. No doubt about it. Obi One podcast made possible by BetWinner. Subscribe now. All your usual podcast platforms. Do pop on over to our YouTube as well. You can watch all of our episodes on there. Subscribe, please. Please do that. All along the bottom as well. Give this man a follow on Instagram. Give me a follow as well. But Obi One Podcast, the main one, to give a follow as well.
Yeah,
We're going to be
yeah.
back. John, brilliant. Where is that little contact book of you taking us next? Can we do Brazil? Can we go track down the Real Ronaldo?
The home of football, huh?
Yeah, can we go there? Can you do that?
We'll see. We'll try.
Watch this space. Top man, John.
Cheers.